Hidden beneath these turquoise waves lies a paradise. An ecosystem rich in life and vibrance. Despite only covering 1% of the ocean floor, coral reefs produce 50% of the world's oxygen. Home to the vast majority of marine species, from the small to some of the largest in the world, coral reefs play a huge role in the health of this planet. The Maldives, known for its idyllic white sand beaches and crystal clear turquoise waters, the true treasures of this island nation lie beneath the waves. Coral reefs. Thought to be the 7th largest coral reef system on Earth, the reefs of the Maldives represent 3% of the world's total coral reef area. Often referred to as the rainforests of the sea, coral reefs are some of the most biodiverse locations on Earth, supporting over 7,000 species of marine organism, each with its own specific role in maintaining the health of the reef. Some roles might be considered more difficult than others. The role of the hawksbill sea turtle, however, is a simple one. To eat. Hawksbill sea turtles feed on sponges and overrunning corals, with an adult sea turtle able to eat over 300 kilograms of sponges a year. Hawksbills help maintain a healthy coral reef by keeping sponge growth in check, allowing plenty of space and sunlight for corals to flourish. Using their acute eyesight and beak-shaped mouths, they're able to pick out sponges from even the smallest crevice on the reef. But all that grazing takes its toll. There's only one thing on a turtle's mind once it's finished feeding: finding a place to sleep. Able to hold their breath for as long as 2 hours at a time, sea turtles are known to sleep for up to 11 hours a day. What these animals have in abundance in beauty and charisma, they sometimes lack in elegance. The reef is home to a wide variety of weird and wonderful creatures, but only one takes the prize for being the most intelligent reef goer. The octopus, thought to be the most intelligent of invertebrates, with an IQ similar to that of many larger vertebrates, these cephalopods are true wonders of the natural world. Problem solving and the use of tools are but two of the tricks that the octopus has up its sleeves. The ability to become invisible in plain sight being another. And whilst they have no shortage of predators on the reef, this male day octopus is throwing caution to the wind as he marches across the coral. Driven by his instincts, he's on a mission to find a mate. Octopus mate but once in their lifetimes. This might be the only interaction this male has with the opposite sex. He extends a specialized arm called a hectocotylus to pass sperm to the female. Once she's receptive, the encounter lasts mere minutes. Love on the reef is fleeting. The male has been successful in ensuring that his genes are passed on to the next generation. Most male octopus die within a few months of mating, and this individual will live out the rest of his days from a rocky outcrop on the reef. Females, however, have a greater sense of duty. They guard their eggs, dying just before they hatch in the ultimate act of self-sacrifice. Life on the reef is far from easy, with any number of perils facing its inhabitants, but making friends with your neighbors greatly increases your chances of survival. Batfish are often seen following green sea turtles in the hope of catching any plant-rich excrement that might float their way. Whilst they might appear to be less than friendly neighbours, moray eels in fact form symbiotic relationships with a few of the reef's inhabitants. The cleaner wrasse picks off parasites from the eel's skin, whilst the boxer shrimp has what appears to be the perilous job of cleaning the eel's razor-sharp teeth. Both wrasse and shrimp receive a free meal as well as protection from predators, whilst the eel is rid of any pesky parasites which might cause it harm. This trio are a perfect example of how inhabitants of the reef live in harmony by working together. A crucial building block of healthy reefs is the abundance of microscopic organisms called plankton. They are the foundation of any marine food web and are fed upon by a plethora of reef inhabitants. These are garden eels. They live in burrows on the sea floor and get their name from their resemblance to grass growing in a garden. Swaying side to side like grass in the wind, they use their large eyes to locate plankton particles in the water column. Though they grow to no more than half an inch in diameter, feeding is a full-time job for these eels as they graze constantly on plankton throughout the day, returning to their burrows only to sleep at night. The miniature nature of plankton, however, doesn't make it only the meal of those slight in build. The whale shark. The largest fish in the world, growing to more than 15 meters in length, they are the definition of gentle giant. Very little is known about these enigmatic sharks. Able to dive to more than 2,000 meters in depth, much of their life remains a mystery to science. What we do know is that they travel the world's oceans looking for plumes of plankton to gorge on. Feeding primarily on a microscopic food source means that whale sharks need to eat upwards of 20,000 calories worth of plankton each day in order to maintain their huge size. That's equivalent to 10 days worth of an average human's recommended daily calorie intake. Unfortunately, not even these gentle giants can evade the impact that humans have on the oceans. This individual has had to learn the hard way to stay away from boat propellers. Thankfully, these grazers have incredible healing abilities which aids in their longevity. It's possible that this shark will be traveling the world's oceans for the next 70 years. Whilst whale sharks meander through the world's waters looking for plankton to feed on, there's another species which has a much more direct way of feeding on the tiny prey. Manta rays. These cloaked phantoms of the reef are relatives of sharks, and another gentle giant which feeds almost exclusively on plankton. These rays employ a number of techniques to maximize plankton consumption, from somersaulting to feeding together in teams. In fact, manta rays have the largest brain of any fish in the world, not only allowing them to communicate with one another effectively, but to be able to remember areas of high plankton concentrations. This incredible ability to remember the location of food sources leads to huge aggregations of manta rays in the Maldives. Whilst these rays might be harmless planktivores and gentle members of the reef community, the same cannot be said about all members of the ray family. A relative of the manta ray, this marbled stingray has a taste for something more substantial than plankton. Strong electrical receptors on their underside detect changes in electrical fields caused by living organisms in the water. These organs, called ampullae of Lorenzini, are arranged around the stingray's mouth and allow it to sense when prey is nearby. When the predator has such strong hunting skills, the prey needs a few tricks of its own in order to avoid becoming lunch. Having both eyes on the top of its head allows the leopard flounder to have near 360-degree vision of its surroundings. A vital skill to call upon when there's a predator combing the reef above. The flounder's eyesight gives it a head start over the ray. It's seen the predator coming from a distance. Whilst the ray's senses are strong, it relies on touch and being close enough to its prey to detect electrical impulses. The flounder is able to use this delay to flee from the predator. Its camouflage is further aided by the stingray's poor sense of sight. As the ray slowly combs over the reef in search of its next meal, the flatfish is able to escape unharmed, finding a more secluded spot to spend the rest of its day. The vibrant array of life found on coral reefs is amongst the most stunning and diverse anywhere in the world. The reef provides shelter and nutrition to thousands of species, but nothing would be possible without the corals themselves. These relatives of the jellyfish make up the foundation of the reef and come in a variety of different forms. From crops of individual small corals to huge fields of hard and stony corals such as Acropora, coral reefs not only produce half of the world's oxygen, they also act as a huge carbon sink. They are, however, sensitive to change. Rises in ocean temperatures as a result of global warming has led to an increase in coral bleaching events. Changing conditions around them causes the coral to expel their algae counterparts, eventually causing the coral to die, leaving nothing but a skeleton behind. As these bleaching events become more and more common on coral reefs across the world, the vast number of creatures that call the reef their home are left without anywhere to go. Scenes like this will become much more common in many areas across the world. A fever of ocellated eagle rays cruise over the remains of a once pristine reef in search of something to eat. The death of the coral here has led to the remainder of the inhabitants abandoning the area in search of new homes. And whilst the future may look bleak here, there is still hope for coral reefs. If given more protection from human encroachment and allowed the time to adapt, coral reefs can recover greatly, enabling the vibrant life that they once held to return. By protecting these marine Edens, we not only safeguard the lives of millions of species underwater, but the rest of life on Earth.